here looking at a Goodman package unit that is not heating. Disconnect is out. Getting ready to confirm that I don't have any power. Just want to make sure that disconnect works. There's a little bit sketchy electrical going on here at this house. And our light is out. Grab the meter real quick and confirm that works over there. It's kind of a sketchy looking disconnect box, and I just want to make sure that when I pull it out that we don't have any voltage at all going to this thing. And we're good to go on that. So now that I've confirmed that, we're going to jump this thing out and turn it on and see what's going on with it. Evidently it's had some issues in the past. She said the draft motor's been replaced in it, or combustion motor, a couple of times. So let's turn the power back on and see what it does. And got my new Short Pro tools. We're spending $45 on that other one. Obviously went ahead and did the good old JB weld on it to keep these wires snug, but it's the same thing for $15. Got this one on Amazon for $15, and the other ones just like it were $45. So put the link to these in the description if anybody wants to order any. You can get them $30 less than what you usually get them for. And the battery on my phone's about to go dead, so some of this video may end up being a little sketchy because I kind of like to use the phone so I can see what I'm doing. Alright, so my light is on down there. We do have power right there. This is the first time I've used these, so we'll see if they actually work or not. I hope so. For $15, they better work. Doesn't sound good at all. So let's see if the Short Pro tool actually works. See if my light comes on. I'll be doggone. That's what $15 gets you. It's supposed to open. Well, you saw it there firsthand, guys. Don't buy the $15 Short Pro tool because it don't work. So needless to say, I won't be putting a link to this piece of shit in the description. Unless the JB weld is causing a problem. I mean, it just goes around the top. I didn't stick it in it. But I'll be damned. Unless that's too much of a short, but I tried doing it against the common and it still did the same thing, popped another fuse. So yeah, I won't be recommending the $15 made in China, or probably in a daycare center over there somewhere. But anyway, this motor sounds horrible when it starts. It was pulling 2.6 amps the second time I turned it on. I'm actually here to replace it. Somebody else found it last week and they had to order one. So we're gonna get it swapped out. So this one's obviously a little bit of a, you gotta take some stuff apart to get to it, and it's a little aggravating to get out. That thing sounded like it was tight when it came on. They said last week, or I think it was Friday when they were here, Thursday, it was seized. So that makes sense based on what it's doing now. They checked the heat exchanger. I'm gonna double check that when I finish, but they pulled that and checked that and said it wasn't a problem. I'll get my manometer and double check the gas pressures and things like that. But I mean, it is a G-Man furnace or package unit, so I don't know what the quality of these replacement parts are now compared to back in the day. I'm sure they're not made in the same place and probably a lot cheaper. It is what it is. One more screw. Got it out. The RC 1.4 amps, and I was getting 2.3 on it, so that makes sense. I'll go over there and get the new one out of the box and get it installed. Alright, so we're going to get the new motor in. Got the gasket in place for it. And pretty disappointed in the short Pro Tools, but I think the other one was working that I have. And I did all three of those with the JB Weld, and I think probably put too much on it and it got down inside of it and possibly shorted, it being JB Weld. I don't know if there's some type of in that paste some type of a metallic content or not, but I wonder if that shorted it, because I got the other two and tried it and all three of them did the exact same thing. And I know the original one, $40 one I had, was working last time I used it before I put that mess on it. So probably wouldn't recommend doing that again. I'll find a different way. I'll probably zip tie them around the top and just electrical tape them real good and see if that holds them in place better. I think it was the JB Weld that did that more so than it being bad. I'm just assuming that all three of them are now doing that. Two brand new ones, and then the one that was working perfectly fine before I went on vacation. So let me get screws back in this thing and we'll get it turned on, get it all hooked back up. So, and maybe I should have just put it around the wires at the top just to hold them, but it has to have some kind of a base to kind of lock against. So maybe I'll wrap it with electrical tape and then put the stuff on there so it doesn't get down inside of it. Maybe something along those lines. I'll try it again. $15 a piece. I'll try them. But it's just odd that the one I had that worked perfectly fine no longer works after I put the JB Weld on there. So maybe it got down in there, ran down inside of it and hit the circuits and shorted, because it goes all the way through to that light. So it is what it is. You live and you learn. But anyway, I thought that was kind of funny though. Thought I had found an answer. Not so much. So let me get all this hooked back up real quick, and we'll turn this thing back on and see what it sounds like. We'll check the gas pressure. Come on. Oh, there's my hole right there. Make sure that lines up like it's supposed to. Alright, let me get all this back together and we'll turn it on. Alright, so I got everything put back together and hooked up here. We're going to see what our gas pressure is, and I want to see what my amp draw, where's my meter at right there, on this motor is now when it runs. See what we get. I guess these things are still good for jumpers if I want to get something turned on, I guess. I don't know. Happy New Year. That sounds a whole lot better. We're running at 1.1 or 1.0 on our amps out of 1.4. Our gas pressure is 3.4 out of 3.5. But it sounds better, the amp draws a whole lot better. Hopefully we got it fixed. That's a shame, that motor only lasted a year. But then again, it is a good old G-Man. So anyway guys, appreciate you watching, like, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.